I got to do President of the United States, Bill Clinton.
People can't remember a time before reality TV, can they? And that's when we started.
If you do make it, how to deal with fame.
Yeah.
And the other thing is ambition.
And is that when the press got you?
There was a gang of them outside the house. They were following us, you know. I'm really into James Bond.
You want to be Bond?
No, not Bond. I'm not right.
Oh, I don't know.
No, too short, too fat, too northern. In the rehearsal, she threw it so hard, it stuck in the back of my head and dropped off. And I put my hand to my head and there's blood coming out. It was like a dart. The beat was sharp.
Honest to God, the fire went over us that much, and then we all just got on with it. We just carried on.
Nice. There you go. Everyone loves it.
Today's guest is a familiar face from some of our best loved TV, from the lightning-fast characters of The Fast Show to the long-suffering, lovable Pete in Cold Feet. He's spent years making audiences laugh and occasionally cry. Actor, comedian and proud Salford lad, please welcome my darling friend, John Thomson.
Thank you for having me, Sal.
Oh, I can't believe you're here.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
It's my podcast. What do you
I know,
think?
it's very nice.
Thanks for coming, mate.
That's all right, it's a pleasure.
Right, what we start with like these quick fire questions.
Okay.
You know, so I can get to know you.
Yeah.
Even though I did meet you like 25 years ago. Is
Yes.
it 25 years ago now?
At least.
Oh my God, we're so old.
At least.
You ready?
Yeah, I'll pretend you're a stranger.
They're quick fire, but they
All
never
right,
turn
let's
out.
go.
Yeah, pretend you've never met me before.
Okay.
Who was your very first TV crush?
Oh, yeah, Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman.
Oh man, you
The $6 million, the Bionic Woman, not the $6 million man. I was going to say $6 million woman, but she wasn't.
What was your dream acting role you'd still love to tackle?
Since I was a very, very small boy, I'm really into James Bond. And
You want to be Bond?
No, not Bond. I'm not right.
Oh, I don't know.
No, too short, too fat, too northern. So just no.
That's me.
So I can't be Bond, but I'd love to be a Bond villain.
Bond villain?
Yes.
You'd be brilliant.
I'd love to be a Bond villain. So I don't know what's happening with it now because we've not even picked the new Bond, but...
Let's work it all out.
I keep saying that every time I say it, you know, people go, what's the dream role? I go, Bond villain.
Okay, everyone, if anyone's listening, John Thomson wants to be a Bond villain. He's very reasonable in price.
Yes, I am reasonable and I'm a master of disguise.
He's a master of disguise. Funniest TV character ever. Not you've played millions, but the one you've watched. I think mine's Margot off The Good Life.
To be honest, though, I owe Frank Spencer a debt of thanks, really, for when I started out doing impressions. He's just such a character.
Go on then.
Who's going to see the Queen on Christmas Day, then? I fell through the window, Betty. I'll fix it in the morning, eh? Oh.
You still blow my mind, Thompson, you do. So who's your best on-screen double act? I've got to say Cannon and Ball.
I was going to say Cannon and Ball.
Yeah, it's got to be Cannon and Ball, hasn't it?
With cheese and onion a close second.
Cheese and onion.
Do you remember them?
Yeah, cheese and onion.
They had a brick wall with cheese, apostrophe, onion. I spoke to Ted Robinson and went, yeah, Gary Onion died. It's only Tony Cheese now. I don't think they're the names, but you know, you get the gist.
As we all know, you are like the Don at impressions.
One of them.
Yeah.
One of them. There's many. There's only a few of us, but those that are good are good.
John Culshaw.
Yeah, John Culshaw, Alistair
McGowan. Coogan's brilliant.
Lewis MacLeod. He's very good.
MacLeod, yes,
very
he's
good.
the other one. So John,
there's some
isn't
new ones on the. There's not many on the social
Dead
media.
Ringers.
But there's some coming through.
Is there?
They're very good.
Can you do me?
Yeah, kid, you're all right.
What's your earliest TV memory?
When I was really young, we had a black and white telly, and I watched Bagpuss, and it starts out sepia, so it's kind of like black and white, you know. And there's a magical bit where it all changes colour, and I went, "Mum, the TV's changed colour." Oh. And it was like, because then we had a colour telly, and I thought, well, we've gone back to black and white. I didn't really, because I was so little.
Yeah.
I didn't really. So that's a core memory.
Now, you've always had this unbelievable magical gift for accents. I mean, you're a fantastic actor. You know how much I love your acting.
Well, thank you. I'm very.
But accents and impressions, you are sublime at. Now, when did that all start?
Well, go back to Frank Spencer.
Yeah.
My village hall. So I grew up in a quite rural part of Lancashire, just near Preston. It's about 20 minutes outside Preston.
Yeah.
Called New Longton. Now, New Longton has got no pubs but 2 carpet shops.
Brilliant.
Anyway,
Just the two?
It's just the two. Funnily enough, one of the owners of one of them carpet shops came up to me when I did the Fast Show live at the Apollo 20 years ago, and he went, "Can I shake your hand?" And I went, "Oh, sorry, I don't know say like that." He said, "You don't know me, but I own one of them carpet shops in New Longton," because he used to do it in my stand-up. And he went, "Thanks for putting me on the map." Anyway, so yeah, but there was Longton next door. Was a bit more going on in Longton.
At a pub,
New Longton, but we had a village hall where they put shows on. So my mum did Amdram there.
Brilliant.
And she was in a play called Dark Lucy, which was like a bit creepy story. And I watched it when I was really young, and mum come on, and I went, "That's my mummy." She's like, I'm heckling my own mother. Anyway, they did it as a variety show, and I did, because I love Tommy Cooper, but I was too young to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Fire is. I was too young to be able to do that, that register.
Yeah.
But I could still do, So what I did was a hybrid of Tommy Cooper doing magic tricks. So I did Frank Spencer, who'd got things wrong anyway.
Yeah.
So I did Frank Spencer doing magic tricks. And it was in the 70s. So I'll have been about 1977. I did a magic wallet trick. So what you do, you'd ask for a note and a coin. You'd fold the coin into a section of the wallet, and you put the note underneath two like elastic bars. You'd flip the wallet, the coin had disappeared, and the note was on the other side. Anyway, I think I asked for a £10 note. And in 1977, I think I was paid about, 80 quid for my first gig, age 6. I never gave it him back.
Yeah, you got £10?
10, yeah, could I have a note, please? And this guy went, there you go. And I never said, here you go. I just took it. That's my first wage.
I absolutely love it. So when you got to university,
Yeah.
And it was the Met, wasn't it? Did you go to
it was the Poly then.
The Poly?
Yeah. So I did drama. I did A-level drama in Leyland at Runshaw College.
Yeah.
Because thankfully the Catholic college in Preston, which I didn't want to go to, didn't do drama.
Brilliant.
So I could escape. So only 2 of us went from All Hallows in Penwitham to Runshaw. Only 2 out of my year.
Always been drama then?
Yeah, always. Because I wanted to be an actor. I didn't want to be a comedian. The comedian was a default because I wanted to get my equity card.
Of course, yeah, because you had to then.
Yeah.
And you went to Met, so because this is, for people who don't know, by the way, this particular university up north is where so many massive stars have come from. I auditioned there and they said to me, "We don't want any more comedians, thank you very much."
Is that what they said?
Yeah. I did a really funny piece, and they went, "Don't want any comedians." I should have gone in crying my eyes out, but I didn't get in. And that was about 18, I think, when I went for that. No, it was about, 18. And I gave it up till I was like, really knocked me that, because I thought, well, Coogan's been there, John Thomson's there, because what you don't know is you got into it a little bit before me, and you were my absolute idol.
I was 87 to 90 when I was there.
You were like my absolute idol, you and Coogan, you were it, and Caroline, I know my mate now, but you were such stars that came out of Manchester and on a wave, and we were all like, oh my God, they're amazing. Because everybody came from somewhere else. So you met Coogan there. That
was in
sort
the
of
third year,
out.
I was in the first year, and he got wind of someone in the first year that did impressions. But Steve being Steve was like, I could do impressions, can't he? I see. We'll see about that. And we met at a party. There was a great guy called Johnny Moran, and my mate Tony Baldwin, and they all lived there. And there was a party there, and that's where I met Steve. And I remember him he did Sean Connery, my name is Bond, James Bond, young, and then doing Sean Connery old. And I went, God, that's clever. That's clever. We had a lot in common. So his mum and dad used to foster kids from the Catholic Rescue Society, where I was adopted from in Didsbury. And the Catholic Rescue Society was next to my drama college. So I came full circle in 18 years.
Exactly where that is.
So on Parswood Road, it's where Francis House Hospice is now. There are no houses all the way. It's just backs of fences, blah, 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 blah. And on the corner was this beautiful building called the Capitol Building, which was an old ABC Studios. And it was listed. And there was obviously a council backhand because it was demolished.
Got knocked down, I know. I nearly died when that happened.
I couldn't believe it when I found out. I was so shocked.
Now, we're going to the break. But one of John's characters in the Fast Show was Louis Balfour. What was his character's catchphrase after the break? And welcome back. Now, John, what was Louis Balfour's catchphrase?
Nice. There you go. Everyone loves it.
So you're in university.
Yeah.
You meet Coogan.
Yeah.
And obviously you both turn into major stars in the future. You don't know that's going to happen at the moment.
No.
At the moment, what's happening is you are brilliant impersonators. What do you do with that?
Originally, because Paul Calf had to be put into a narrative later, namely the Paul Calf video diaries and
one of my favourite videos.
3 Fights, a Wedding and a Funeral.
Yeah.
We couldn't give him the name that Steve came up with, which is a brilliant comedy name, which was Duncan Disorderly.
Duncan Disorderly,
So he was called that, and he was based on the opposite our drama school was the Parswood pub, and Steve would earwig. Because all the best characters are based on, things
real
they
people,
pick up. It's like, how Tony wrote Coronation Street. He used to sit under the table and listen to his mum gossiping with all the old ladies. So Steve would listen to what the local heavy drink, the pint of mild, the little, those types, thought of not only students coming in the pub, but drama students. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the horror?
So it was like, Steve would he'd remember what they'd said. So he had Duncan Thicket, which was like a train spotter character.
Duncan Thicket, yeah.
Duncan Disorderly, which became Paul Calf, and Ernest Moss, who was the health and safety man,
officer,
based vaguely on Tony, his dad.
Right, okay.
We used to take photos, put them on slides, and write around the slides. We'd work organically. And I remember him saying to his dad, Tony, going, Dad, can we take some pictures of the basement in his house, the big house in Middleton?
Yeah.
And he went, no, Steve, you can't. He went, come on, Dad, it's like an old miner's helmet in there.
Yeah.
He went, Steve, absolutely not. And I'd never seen Tony lose his rag before. And he went, why not? And he went, some of that wiring's not council approved. It was just a golden moment. We didn't take any photos down there.
So I was obsessed. I saw you two, if you remember, the Southern Buzz Club.
Yeah.
Right. Paul Calf and you with Bernard Wright on.
Yeah.
And then I went back one week and I saw Sister Mary Immaculate with Caroline Aherne. And you lot were the reason I was like, oh my God, I've got to do this. They are just genius. So tell us about, everybody doesn't know about that, Bernard Wright.
Well, originally the idea was to do a PC Bernard Manning, and I used to just talk about it in the set. So I would say, imagine if Bernard Manning saw the light, had an epiphany, and became politically correct, and I'd just do it. And then I thought, well, I can take it a stage further, really, because there weren't many people doing character comedy.
No, there wasn't. That's the thing.
That was the thing. And I don't know really, I think because of my acting background, I thought it would be a good idea to do a character, So I think there was John Shuttleworth, Graham Fellows, Caroline, Sister Mary, Simon Day was doing Tommy Cockles.
Tommy Cockles, yeah.
So Steve had got these characters together and he wanted to do a show. And I showed Steve Bernard
Wright on.
And so I got myself a second-hand velveteen suit with slightly flared. I'd stuff a cushion up the front. Sometimes I don't have to stick a cushion up. It depends where I am. I'm up and down like a bride's nightie. So
weight-wise, dear.
Yeah, I'd do the voice like Bernard, but I never went to see him. Live, but I watched shooting from the lip. Mm. So I never went to the Embassy Club because I was a student, and being a student, I knew then he was dodgy, kind of like his
even
politics.
Even then we weren't supposed to know he was wrong. And
I felt like if I go, I could go, well, it's a research project.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought, well, probably best if I don't.
It's not good for anyone, that.
Not really. But he's a great gag teller, great timing, but just the wrong vibe, So I watched him shooting from the lip. And I came up with this character. So the opening gambit, for those people who've not seen it, we had to do, it's important that the announcement into the act is clear because otherwise people aren't. So you have to say, he once was a racist, sexist, working man's club comedian who saw the light, has had an epiphany and has decided to change his act for a modern audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Wright on. So I come on and I go, there's a black fella, a Pakistani and a Jew having a drink in a nightclub. What a fine example of an integrated community, ladies and gentlemen. So it's that kind of a play on that,
Because he was, at the time, he was
still alive.
It was such a different thing, and you were so modern. And I know it was all going down in London, but for me, you two were just hysterical.
Well, it wasn't really a rant about politics, and it wasn't.
But you were telling of the time kind of thing.
Of course, and it was way before its time. Now look at it, really.
God, yeah.
And it wasn't a rant about politics or Thatcher's Britain, and also it wasn't observational comedy. And I loved writing it, but it's only got like a 10-minute shelf life on stage because it's the same thing. I tried to make it three-dimensional.
It's one brilliant gag in it, really.
Yeah, over and over again. We did that. We took it on tour, and we found the strengths and weaknesses. And then for Edinburgh, we got Patrick Marber in to direct it because we needed an outside eye. word got round and it got busier and it got packed. It was so hot in there as well.
Yeah.
But I hosted the show as Bernard, and lo and behold, we won the Perrier in 92. And that was it.
I mean,
that was the jumping off point.
That was like massive. You win the Perrier, that was it. It was just the biggest thing. And was that before or after you did Spit and Image?
After.
So you did Spit and Image before?
Yeah. So Steve said, your voices are good. You should send a cassette tape. That dates it.
Go on. So what happened? You still at college?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 89. So grateful because I was the newbie, you know.
Yeah. 18?
19, I think. 19.
Doing impressions. So who did you do?
I started off with Gaza. So it's basically a Geordie that cries, you know. Just like sweet on Sunny and sweet, but he's crying all the time, like, you know. Oh, just crying. So there wasn't much dialogue because it was always like the Geordie just crying, like, you know. So there was that. I also did, I did Nigel Kennedy, you know, Monster. Yeah, Monster, yeah, Aston Villa, ma. Yes, mate, beautiful. And they did hit a puppet of him, which was great because I did the voice, they made the puppet. And he had like a kind of I don't know whether it was like a mark from playing the violin or a cyst or like a carbuncle. But I said, you've seen that mark on it? Why don't you get it to talk? And they put a little, then he gave it a little, give it a little mouth. But what you have to do at Spit and Image was you have to rise through the ranks. So, and you have to audition in front of each other. Which is really hard,
Lord.
Really hard. So you work your way up and then a lot of people can all do it, but they decide who's got the best one, you know. Everybody did Douglas Hurd. But the thing was, after a while, you'd go, oh, can I have a drink of water?
Yeah.
Someone, I don't want to do him this week. Will you do him, Roger? Or you do him, John? And
so you got to do him because you were the youngest?
Sometimes, yeah. And then I did Bill Clinton. You know, I got to do President of the United States, Bill Clinton. And then Fast Show came knocking.
So wait, what happened there?
So basically, because there were only certain people doing character comedy.
Yeah.
They approached Simon, who did Tommy Cockles, who hosted Paramount City.
Course, yeah.
Caroline was this in Sister Mary Immaculate, but she also did Mitzi Goldberg Experience. I don't know if you remember
She did
that.
it on, she did it with Cash, didn't she, in Signal Radio?
Yeah.
Craig Cash on Signal Radio.
But there wasn't much to it.
No.
Not to that. And Mrs. Merton, of course, that started on Frank Sidebottom.
Yeah.
But Caroline always wanted to be an actress, but she worked at the BBC. She didn't go to drama school like me and Steve, but she was a raw talent, like funny bones, one of the funniest people. Funniest women I've ever met. She had a giant handbag full of practical jokes. It was just filled with rubber dog turd, them glasses with the springs, one of them glasses that make your eyes look all squiff. Honestly, so funny. So Paul and Charlie, Paul had worked with Harry, which was longest elongated sketches with Kathy Burke.
Yeah.
So that was Harry Enfield and Chums, and they thought, well, we need something a bit more quickfire, which is perfect for the short attention span of everyone's the way it was going.
God, yeah.
So we wanted short and snappy catchphrase.
You were
sketches.
The Instagram age before there was an Instagram age.
And Bernard Wright before really, woke came along. Really,
yeah.
Maybe I should put the lottery on tonight. So Paul and Charlie, they'd written it and they said, so they were looking for comedy comedians. There was me, who's doing Bernard, and Simon doing Tommy Cockles, Caroline doing mainly Sister Mary. Well, me and Simon said, you need to see Caroline, because she wasn't in the frame at first. He went, she'd be perfect for it. And they did. They met her and said, oh, she's perfect.
Yeah.
And she was. Absolutely.
You added, to me, to the Fast Show, because we're obviously a massive fan of the Fast Show as well, you added a real northern heart to it.
Yeah.
You and Caroline, which was very much needed.
Very much.
Very much needed, because it was all a bit posh and a bit fancy pants.
Or a bit cockney.
A bit whatever.
Yeah,
and you had this,
carrots.
especially like, what did I say, Roy?
Yeah.
Which is still...
I love that.
So then you're revisiting these types, you're going on, and you're carrying on, and you're getting more and more famous. I saw your meteoric rise.
It went a bit mad, yeah. But one thing drama school does not prepare you for, two things they don't teach you is if you do make it, how to deal with fame.
Yeah.
And the other thing is ambition.
Right.
You have to be ambitious.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of ambition. There's ruthless, where it's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which I've always said works. You'll get to the top very quick, but you won't have any mates,
you
really. You won't know mates.
I know.
And you'll have you'll have a reputation that's not great, really.
I don't know how you'll sleep at night, but yeah.
No, exactly. I do. So I moved to London in about just after we won the Perrier, and then I started to do this private members clubs and all that kind of thing. And I loved it. 90s, there was loads of money about.
Well, that's when you met my husband, wasn't it?
Yeah, Steve.
Steve, yeah.
But I've been playing
drummer,
drums since I was 11. But the brass bands was always a terrible starting ground for booze because it was 15.
Yeah.
And they went, go on, have a drink. And I went, oh, not really.
I remember having a drink with my dad on Hyde Road, just rum and black at 14, and it was expected. He just did.
Absolutely. Brass bands, it's like they say, it's, they're a drinking troupe with a brass problem. Really. That's what brass bands are.
So... obviously, that was part of your life when you went, a bit mad.
Yeah.
And how did it...
Well, the tabloids went for me in a big way.
I was going to ask what I was going to ask for.
I used to sell papers very well, I wish I was on commission.
Oh,
I wish I'd been on a percentage. But it was just like cold feet. I had no idea, because it took a while to get made, really, and it was only when it won the silver and gold rose at Montreux, I think it was, that they went, well, let's make this. And it was a massive, massive hit. It was like...
So before that, when you were in the Fast Show, and you're in quite a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah, but I was kind of low profile then. I think the problem is, the more famous you become, the more of a target you are, potentially, not always.
I think it's to do with age, John. So how old were you then?
I started Cold Feet when I was 28.
So exactly. So before then, you're 24. I think, like now, if you and I went into Borough and I got absolutely lathered and went, nobody give a monkeys.
No.
Because we're in our 50s.
Also,
that would never happen.
There were no reality stars to take a fall for us.
I've always said this.
Because they don't care what state they're photographed in, because all publicity is good publicity. Well, it's not in for an actor. But if you're a reality star, it don't matter if you fall out of Browns at 5 a.m. with a nosebleed. You know what I mean?
People can't remember a time before reality TV, can they? And that's when we started. It was mental. But I'm going to come back to you after the break. We'll talk about Cold Feet, obviously, that we never saw that one coming. But obviously everybody else did. So follow the show on social media. Search for A Night In with Sally Lindsay. Another question before the break. John starred in the Manchester film 24 Hour Party People. Now, which record producer is the film about? See you after this. Welcome back. Now, John, what's it about? 24-hour party.
24-hour party people is about Tony Wilson.
Tony Wilson.
Yeah, Tony.
He was the icon of Manchester.
He was Mr. Manchester, they called him. I did Remote Control with him, which is a game show. And it was me, Carolina Hearn, Phil Cornwell and Chris Seavey, Frank Sidebottom. What a laugh.
Talking of which, Cold Feet. So we were sort of contemporary. This is my first sort of big break, was a Royal Family around this time.
Yeah.
And you were doing Cold Feet at the time, and also then I got into Coronation Street. So now we're Granada buddies. We're round here.
Yeah.
We're sort of swimming round.
Yeah.
And it was mental, wasn't it?
My first ever job from drama school was Corrie, and it was Gary the Biker.
It
was 2 episodes, but I knew I wasn't coming back because I didn't have a surname. It wasn't just Gary the Biker. If it was Gary Smethurst, I thought, there's a chance they might, can you come in?
Or they didn't put you with the Barlow or something.
No. Yeah. So I had lines. I chatted up Mavis at the bar, and I was a biker buying bike spare parts from Jim McDonald.
So that was your first.
So that was my first break. Terrifying.
But Cold Feet
was the big one.
Tell me about that.
So we did this pilot, and it was great fun, But what I'd done before was a drama called The Perfect Match that was written by Mike Bullen, who wrote Cold Feet, and I played a character in that which was basically Pete, but it was a different storyline, and in that was Saskia Reeves and Peter Howitt, and they were a couple that wanted to get married at Man United. That's why it was the perfect match. They were the perfect match, but it was the perfect match that they got married at Old Trafford. And I was the mate who shared the flat with the potential groom, who was a bit of a nightmare and always in the way and kind of thing. And
third wheel.
That was my audition for Pete. So I didn't know this. I didn't know he was writing Cold Feet. So I played that character, and they went, we're going to write something else. You're already in the frame. So I didn't have to audition. I mean...
That was it. Well, it was written for you. That's what they call it.
That part was my audition. So I was already established. I'm like, what's this? 28.
God, that's mad.
And then the cast were put around me, and it was the perfect casting. That's one of the beauties of that show. The casting is absolutely paramount. Superb.
Casting always is.
So good.
Casting is always the most important thing, apart from the writing. But
it was great fun.
Got to get it right.
Jimmy and my relationship with Jimmy off screen was brilliant. On screen, it has to be. It shows, and it's interesting how it's developed. It developed, the characters developed over the years. To be honest, it was a lot funnier the first time round. Me and Jimmy were a bit worse for wear on set, some days, honestly. But we always delivered the goods.
Yeah.
And we were always there. We were a bit sweaty and a bit smelly, but do you know what I mean? But we never carried on. There was none of that, no flasks. So we just got on with the job in hand, and then probably went out straight after rap again.
Yeah.
But I was just fills me with horror now. But I was a lot more resilient then, the younger you are, he was in my 20s. That relationship that we had off camera has helped our relationship on camera. We're still good friends. We're still in touch.
Yeah, no.
And but when we went back the second time round, which I didn't anticipate, after 13 years, they said we're going to bring it back. And we were like, what? Really? Because there was always rumblings. There was always but this time there was smoke with fire, and I went, oh, okay. And we did. And the first day, the spread now, as you know, the first night we got over 7 million people.
Yeah, which is unheard of.
Unheard of.
It's a legacy programme though, isn't it? I mean, back in the day when it was out, I auditioned for that, I was in a dream. It was
cyberspace.
No, it was like it didn't make it, but you were having a dream of an ex-girlfriend.
Right.
And they got me to play, and I was playing Shelley across the way. And it mad that, and it didn't get a I was like, gutted. So you'd all go out after. I remember
just me and Jimmy.
It was just you and Jimmy.
Not the rest.
We just had a wonderful time.
No, they were sensible.
And is that when the press got you?
After.
Oh, it's after.
Afterwards.
After Cold Feet was finished. Yeah. So they waited.
They were assembling their evidence, weren't they? They were getting it all together. They were following us. All that.
And did you ever get a sense? Because we used to come out of Coronation Street, and I remember once, me and a friend who's actually in the show, we were followed to the cash point and back again. And then we were followed to the gym and back again. And it was all right that two men were following these young women around.
Not right at all.
And it was all fine and you just got on with it because that was your job.
They used to wait outside. When it got really bad, and my ex-wife was pregnant, they used to wait out. There was a gang of them outside the house waiting on the opposite side of the road, sometimes outside on the pavement,
what
just
are you waiting
waiting.
For?
I said, but just what? Years later, clean, sober, I was all sorted out. I walked past the Radisson Edwardian Hotel and all the Britain's Got Talent judges were staying there and there were loads of Paps,
Same
the
ones.
lenses. And I walked on the opposite side of the road deliberately and I went, and I started to shake because of it.
You?
And not one bothered with me. And then it saw me and they went, all right, John, all right, saw me. No one bothered. And I went, oh, it's over.
It's over.
But some people would see that as a bad thing, like, they
no.
They don't want to photograph me anymore. I was just the relief.
There's a Pap and me, and what had happened, I'd heard that they used to take Paps, under
the upskirt.
So I was told.
Legal now.
I was told when you go to award ceremony or anywhere, put your skirt together. Anyway, I was on. They'd opened the other side of so I put the skirt together and I lay down, and the copy the next day was Sally Lindsay. Leathered or,
Because you were led down.
Because I'd only just gone out and I wouldn't mind.
Oh,
it's awful, wasn't it? Oh, my God. But obviously when you came back, and that's a long time ago and you're 20 years sober now. And,
this Christmas,
Which is just amazing, John. And Cold Feet. How did it differ the second time round then?
Well, it was very different. We were a lot older and genuinely wiser. And the thing is, though, we did the dynamic had completely changed, and we did our socialising on set. We'd still go out. We'd have like a group night out, A
nice dinner.
Yeah. The thing is,
by
though,
9:30.
it was. My storylines on the reboot were very heavy. And Pete had depression to the point of suicide. Jenny got cancer. And then Jenny's mum died at the end. And I said, if you bring it back, please can we win the lottery? Please. Because we were like...
Can we do something funny next time?
Yeah, it was just like...
I very appreciate our acting talents, but can we please...
But the beauty of Cold Feet is it's bittersweet. So you'll play something for laughs and then you'll throw in a curveball and so on. Phone call.
Perfect
Someone's
drama.
died. Yeah. And the other way round.
Always perfect.
Something serious and then...
It's like the best Coronation Street.
Exactly.
That's why it was
always.
Such legendary.
It's like Step-Thomson, that stuff.
Steps,
really poignant.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, did you enjoy going back? Was it?
Yes, Totally. I loved it.
Is it something like a door that will always be kept open?
I would hope so. My dream is to just test the water with a Christmas special because Gavin and Stacey had such success with that.
Oh, it'd be smashing.
It makes perfect sense too. And we kind of always finish on weird numbers. So we came back and we did 3.
Yeah.
So we did 16 to 19, 2016 to 2019. But we were supposed to do a National Lampoon's European Vacation 90-minute special in Barcelona, but then pandemic came.
Oh,
we were going to do that.
Who do I ring? You've got to do that.
Well, we should, really.
So your first job was in Coronation Street, and you returned to Coronation Street, and you've been in Coronation Street on and off for years now.
3 times.
Yeah.
So one's Gary the Biker,
yeah,
buying spare parts in the Rovers. Then I came into it as Jesse Chadwick, who was children's entertainer and electrician.
Of course.
But now the first time, I love that, because I thought, well, I know how they're going to write me up. I'm going, puff of green smoke.
Cards everywhere.
That's it. I thought, well, that's how they're going to
Fez
write
on
me
the
out.
floor.
You know, do you know what I mean? Or it's hardly going to be trampled by toddlers, you know what I mean? You know, or sawn in half. I did, I think, 11 months, and then that came to an end. And I remember I was chucked out of the Rovers by, because I tried it on with Julie Carp, who's Katie Kavanagh's character, who was Eileen's sister. So I was playing them both off, and then but one grassed me up. So they throw me out of the Rovers and throw me props at me. And I remember Sue launched a plastic seagull with real feather wings that literally hit in the rehearsal. She threw it so hard, it stuck in the back of my head and dropped off. And I put my hand to my head and there was blood coming out. It was like a dart. The beak was sharp. And I went, I'm bleeding. And I remember Pete Moran, props, who's an old friend, and he's a magician as well. I went, Pete, I'm bleeding. He went, do you want me to put it in book? And I went, we don't need to put it in book. Like accidents. But it was really...
when they set
really
fire
hurt.
to Dev's
Really
corner
hurt.
shop.
Yeah.
Right. So the guy from James Bond came in to do it because he
Right.
had money then, ITV, you know. But he had 3 weeks to do one fire. He had 24 hours. And it was really... So basically, my eyebrows singed. I remember Keith Duffy's hair, me patting him on the head. Honest to God, the fire went over us that much. And then we all just got on with it. We just carried on.
Just carried on.
I
was like,
I think Bill Roach was like, full of smoke.
It's just blood.
It's all right. It's fine. Just get on with it, don't you? It's
So,
mental.
yeah, the last shot of me leaving it was brilliant. There's tumbleweed, like there is a tumbleweed in Weatherfield, but it's brilliant. There was an alley shot and tumbleweed went like that because I was a cowboy character.
That's brilliant.
And then, so 24 wasn't a good year. You know when you have a famine year. And I remember late August, I got a call going, do you want to go back into Corrie? And I went, well, what can you tell me what it is? He went, well, basically, you're marrying Gail. And I went, really? So what's happened to Eileen? She went, no, they're mortal enemies, you know.
Yeah,
So
there's so many fights to them too.
So what it was is we met in Thailand, and we've been secretly having rendezvous when she was saying she was going to pottery classes and painting, live drawing, but we've been secretly seeing each other. I think it's like Henry VIII. That was number 6, and thankfully it was Happy Ever After, because all the other ones were like serial killer and
vile.
Just like
She had a bloody nightmare.
Yeah, a burglar pretending to be the gas man.
Nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare.
So
I'm glad it was a happy ending.
Yeah, and I love Hells. She's great.
And so currently, myself, she's lovely, isn't she?
Yeah, she's
It's such a joy.
Yeah, she's
and
great.
so Sue, who
brilliant.
Audrey, just great.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just, I thought it's iconic. I can't turn it down.
No, you got it.
know. And it was only a short run, and I said, because I like to diversify, I don't want to get stuck in something. So I said to Helen, are you going to come back? Because originally they said they leave for Whitby, and I thought a bit close to Weatherfield, bit too close to home. That they can always have us back, but Helen said no. I've been in it 50 years now.
I've had
and I
enough.
thought, cool.
Do you know what made me laugh, John, when she
50?
left? Everybody's going, what happened to Helen? I went, she's done 50 years. What do you mean what's happened? What's the gossip? She's had enough.
Well, you said enough.
That's the gossip.
She wants some freedom.
Honest to God, well, Shelley's in Derby. I've got a pub in Derby, apparently.
Oh, have you?
With a 22-year-old kid, apparently, now.
Okay. I live in the south of France with Gail.
Oh, that's
yeah, that's
nice.
where we live
I'm
now.
so glad.
Yeah, we're doing somewhere up.
Talking of icons, you've just been working with Hugh Laurie.
Yes, I have.
And I know this because this is what we were working our dates around when you did our Christmas special.
Well, that came in. Well, I hate self-tapes. I'm not an actor, though. Oh, I love them. I relish them. I can't wait for the next one.
That's
I
when
really
I'm best,
can't.
yeah.
Oh, I'm at my finest when I do a self-tape because I know exactly what they want.
I can be directed in my head.
I can direct myself wonderfully. So I always do a nod to the costume. I've got a white screen that goes black for horror films.
You're not
It's reversible. It hangs up. I move the ironing board. It's one of them rooms. I move the ironing
Washing
board.
basket,
I put it
bold,
out
moved.
of the way. I got a proper tripod because the other one was too small. I was balancing it on also.
Yeah, a nightmare.
Anyway, I finally got a good tripod. Put my phone up. Sometimes my brother has to read in because I live on my own. He has to read it on Zoom or anyway. I got it. Oh, so they went, you've got that. You've got this new job. The one. It was called Capital. That was the working title. And it's called The Wanted Man. And it's the same guy, George, who wrote Hijack with Idris Elba.
Oh.
Yeah, same writer.
Wow.
And they said it's a prison drama. So I auditioned for it. But I put the old blue shirt on. I got a crumpled blue kind of denim shirt that looked a bit, because the character hadn't washed and he was smelly. And so I found one that I didn't need ironing and I made my hair look really greasy. And you kind of do a nod to what they want, you know. And I read it, and it's like I was in the queue, you know, for the thing, and I'm being bullied really badly in the prison. Anyway, you've got it. And then George, who wrote it, when I found out you got it, I've rewritten it. I went, what? They went, no, I think, he said you could give it a lot more vulnerability.
Oh, I do that.
Change the story.
So that was the job coming on to the Christmas special you did for me.
Yeah.
For us.
Madame Blanc.
Which
it was a great year last year, Sal. Partially thanks to you, game shows and Madame Blanc. I loved
sublime.
it. What a lovely job.
How much of a laugh
But we were all together. It was like, I can't wait to see Malta. It was a bottleneck episode, trapped in a museum.
Oh, we were trapped, weren't we? But we did have one weekend when it was my husband's 60th, is an old mate of yours.
It was brilliant.
And we went on a boat, didn't we?
So lovely.
And it was the most mad thing that it was Steve's 60th and you were in the
there.
job. And your old mates, and you happened to be there.
There's a brilliant photograph of us two laughing.
So beautiful.
It's so wonderful.
God knows, some story of the 90s that I'm not prior to. I think.
Yeah. So I know you both very well.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve
lovely.
through drumming, you through acting.
Yeah.
And
Manchester.
Manchester, of course.
So a little question before the break. In Blackadder Goes Forth, what was the name of the captain played by Hugh Laurie? Answer after the break. Welcome back to A Night In with Sally Lindsay. In Blackadder Goes Forth, what was the name of the captain played by Hugh Laurie? Now, what was the answer? What do you reckon the answer was?
Fortescue Smythe or something like that. Yeah.
Lieutenant George.
It was just simply that.
It was simply that.
Just Lieutenant
They didn't
George.
go mental. Now, John Thomson, what's your TV guilty pleasure?
I have a tendency to stray into YouTube now. Not really telly, is it?
Oh, you can watch this on YouTube.
Oh,
YouTube
well.
is the future, mate.
It's starting to come out now.
Go on.
That my love is horror, ghosts. But I love watching clips of ghost stuff and stuff moving on its own. And
Do you love all that?
I love all that.
And nothing's ever been proved, has it really?
Not really. But the thing is, though, there's a fake. The problem's AI now. It's fakery out there.
I know. It's such a shame, isn't it?
But you can tell. There's a bit of uncanny valley about AI where you go, that's not right.
Yeah.
But some of it, I mean, I'm not. The weird thing is, I'm not scared. I'm just fascinated by it. You know.
Would you stay like in a?
Yeah.
'Cause I did one of these programs where you stay in this haunted house with Emma Kennedy. Honest to God, she was a nightmare. She would not go to sleep, and in the end, I was that scared that I wouldn't go to sleep, and I don't know what I was scared about. Nothing was happening, but it's just the anticipation, isn't it? And this happened in this house, and it was mad. I loved it though.
Yeah, we've done it. We stayed at the Rye. The Mermaid in Rye, 11th century. It's the oldest hotel in the.
Is it the most haunted as well?
One of them, but nothing happened.
No, because it didn't.
Nothing happened. No.
Right. Okay. Now this is dead funny. This because actually you'll know because you're dead clever and you remember everything. But usually our guests don't remember anything because it's a quiz
about me.
Your
though.
life on
We'll
screen
see.
quiz, John Thomson.
We'll see.
So it's your life on screen quiz, John Thomson. What is the name of the TV show in which you played a former prison officer who ends up working at a job centre?
The Job Lot.
Well done.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was a great episode, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a country and western singer from Birmingham.
Did
and
you?
I hold one of the girls, Sarah Hadlin. She's played my missus twice.
Sarah.
I hold a hostage on the roof. It's yeah.
There you go, well done. How many acting roles do you have listed on IMDb?
I've been told it's about 500.
I've got 157 here.
Oh, acting. Oh, that's just
Yes, just acting.
credits, isn't it?
Yeah. Credits for 500, definitely.
500, yeah. Okay, acting 157.
What was your name? Full name in Madame Blanc last year? I've only just remembered this. They never give you... Oh, can you remember? It's the name of the crush that you were a multi-billionaire for.
George Alphonse.
Yes! You got it!
Yes, I did.
Your memory is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Alphonse.
I've only just remembered it reading that. That's fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, so we're not finished yet.
Okay.
Across the original 1984 to 1996 run and the modern revival 2020s of Spitting Image, how many British Prime Ministers have featured?
84 to
96, the first run. And then obviously they've started it again in 2020 on YouTube now, I think, that we love.
5.
It's actually 9. But
Is
then
it?
it's those weird ones at the end, like Liz Truss.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't really count, does
No,
it?
not really.
And we've got Boris Johnson. No, he counts, and he's
He'd
a
be a great puppet.
good character. Can you
Yeah.
do Boris?
Sort of, he's got it right, like, it's just bubbling kind of food. Blue.
What's the new passport like?
Blue.
I think the answer is yes, viewers. Now, you starred in 24-Hour Party People. But which record label did Tony Wilson co-found?
Factory Records.
Factory Records. Of
yes,
course
he
it
did.
is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
John, I absolutely love you.
I love you too, Sal.
And I always will. And I hope we work together again
So
very
do I.
soon.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for coming, mate.
Thank you for inviting me.
The amazing, magnificent John Thomson. Don't forget, you can listen to A Night In with Sally Lindsay every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can see it on YouTube.
I get my podcast from Home Bargains.